Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Gatesy. That's Duke. We're forged from iron. And in the middle, we've got Andy. How are you, sir?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I couldn't think of
Good,
anything better
good.
than spending it with you two on Mother's Day.
Ah, thanks, mate.
No, I'm
Appreciate
joking.
Bless you.
If your mum watches this, you're in so much trouble. So
Yeah,
much trouble.
I think she can hear me downstairs. I can hear the broom
Oh,
running
no.
on the.
You did get her a card, though, at least, didn't you?
Yeah,
Please?
and flowers. But
Oh, look at you.
she's a mad football fan, so she's looking forward to the game later. It's all good.
Oh, she's a fellow hammer as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
love that.
so we're
mate.
gonna. Yeah, so I don't know whether you saw, like, I've got a bar at the end of the garden. That's where we go and watch the games on the big telly in the
Oh,
bar. So
hello.
yeah, I'll send a
All
few
these
pictures
people
Posh.
of
coming
that.
on with their
I'll show
own
you.
personal bars. I don't have this.
I'm thinking about converting these two rooms, mate. I think I'm going to have to. After doing these videos over the last few weeks with you
Well,
and Jazz, was it
you've got a
Jazz and
pub
everything? I've got
downstairs.
no, I know, but I mean, I want to try and create the two rooms into one big kind of West Ham room. I think I'm going to have to. I'm really jealous of some of these people.
You're jealous.
Yeah.
How do you think I feel? At least you've got a pub downstairs.
Well, you live with a Spurs fan, so I suppose, yeah, that's why
Exactly.
you come to mine. You have to escape, didn't you?
Exactly. Yeah, okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, I'm going to do my usual shout out to Isla's Army. For those of you that don't know, Isla Caton, she is a 6-year-old girl. She has a really rare form of cancer called neuroblastoma. This is particularly prevalent in children, really, really aggressive, and there is no treatment for this in this country on the NHS. It means, therefore, that this family have got to put their entire lives on hold and cart this poor little girl to wherever it is around the world that she needs to go to get the treatment to ultimately save her life. Now, this is very, very expensive and very, very stressful at the best of times, let alone this poor family having to do it in the middle of a pandemic. I appreciate that times are tough, ladies and gentlemen, but these family have it tougher than most. So, I'm asking whatever donation you can bring into the pot, whether it's £1, £10, £100, whatever it is that you've got to spare. There is a PayPal there. There is a Just Giving on the banner there. I ask you to consider, please, giving as generously as you can. If this is not possible, then fair enough, not a problem. But what I do ask is if you can share this far and wide to try and keep the momentum going, to try and get this family and this poor little girl the help that we all hope that she can get to save her life. I thank you very much indeed for your attention. So, Andy, we are here for the next episode of the tier list. So, for those people that are watching, wondering what is the tier list, well, let me educate you. So, we have 25 first team players. Andy is going to put himself in the role of David Moyes in the summer, and he is going to make decisions on each individual player. There are 4 categories that Andy has got to choose. Long-term players. So these are players that Andy believes, if he was David Moyes, would have a future at the club lasting at least 3 seasons and possibly beyond, all things being equal. The next category down is 1 or 2 seasons. So players that you're thinking, yep, I can get another season, maybe 2 at a push, but beyond that, their future doesn't lie at the club at all. Then the next category down are players that Andy would not be too sure about one way or the other, and it could be that maybe he could go one way or the other, but he's not too sure. He's sitting on the fence. He's got splitters in his bum. Then the last one is quite brutal, but to the point. See ya. So these are players whose days, if Andy was in David Moyes' shoes, their days would be numbered. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get down to it. The first player on the tier list, Andy, is Felipe Anderson.
Mine would be 1 or 2 seasons for Felipe Anderson.
Okay.
I believe that we're going to get European football, and I think a player like him would be perfect for Europa League, and he will come in and do a job. He's. I know last season he had a bit of a nightmare and where he's gone out at Porto, but I think a lot of that isn't down to him. To be perfectly honest, I think one has either been ill advised. I don't know whether you saw, like, his sister got involved with regards to the the transfers and stuff like that. And I actually feel sorry for him. But even when he wasn't playing well, the stuff what he had like with his family coming over here, I don't think that was a front with all the West Ham stuff and stuff like that. And I actually like him as a person. I know a lot of people don't, but I feel he'll do a job for us, in my opinion.
Andy, can I just pick you up on something, though? You said Europa League. We're going for Champions League, mate. Champions League.
I'm thinking of worst case scenario. Worst case scenario.
Your glass half empty rather than glass half full. Fair enough.
Well, I feel if you ask me after the next 2 games, I'll give you a more of an indication. But I'm thinking more of worst case scenario. But no, as a person, no. For Felipe Anderson, if you look at the system, if he was playing in where Lingard or Ben Rama plays, he wouldn't be getting stick. He wouldn't be getting stick because he wouldn't have to come back and defend. And that's why Creswell is not getting the stick. He's a different player now. We play a system which works for us. And the addition of Stuart Pearce is the main key. Well, all the backroom stuff, but since Stuart Pearce has come back in, our defence has been great. So
top draw.
Fine. Yeah.
No problem. All good. Next player on the list, Michail Antonio.
1 or 2 seasons again.
Mm-hmm.
I think he will finish his career, but when you think of when we're doing this tier system, he'll be 1 or 2 seasons in the first team, and then I think he'll play a part role in the squad. I feel that the way his legs are now, he will be next season. He will just be a 20-minute, 25-minute if you're chasing the game and come on and change the game. And I think we'll get the 30 games a year out of him when he converts into that role. And of course, him being versatile, he can not play up front. He can play on the wing. And worst case scenario, if we have no right backs, he'll even go and play right back for you. So he's a player who you need in the squad. But with regards to first team, 1 or 2 seasons.
Fair enough. Next player on the list, we've got Fabian Balbuena.
See ya. I don't like his attitude now, to be honest. The fact that he's talking about, he should be talking about where West Ham are in the table and wanting to help us get European football, not talking about his contract or where he wants to be next. So he's turning into a bad ego, and the sooner we get him out, the better. There's a reason why he's not playing. There's a reason why he's not playing.
Yeah, fair comment. Yeah.
Why Diop's up further? Diop's pulled his finger out, and like you said, he's gone further down. Balbuena's probably 4th choice now for centre back behind Dawson and Bonner and Creswell.
And maybe sort of give it another sort of couple of months. Who knows? He's probably even 5th choice because possibly by then, the young lad Alves might have nudged ahead of him. So
I think Ashby can even play centre back as well, can't he?
Can he?
Baptiste, I think he can play centre back.
I know Baptiste can,
Yeah. So no, like I said, the future's bright with regards to who would have said that last year that our centre backs would be probably our strongest position.
Yeah. What a turnaround! But
Crazy.
that's the as we had Russ Budden on, and he used the term Moyesification, and it's a bit like when Ian Dowie said bounce back ability. That this is another one to add to the lexicon, the Moyesification of players. So, So next one on the list, we've got Saeed Benrahma.
That's long term for me. I can see him being at the club for at least 5 years, in my opinion. That'll be at 30, and a lot of players now peak between 28 and 30. So I can only see him get better, and I do feel this year he's been unlucky. If one of the goals went in earlier, like a couple of shots, the one that springs to mind was the Southampton away. If that went in, I think we would see an even better Benrahma. But it just proves what kind of player he is. Like on Monday night against Leeds, that link-up play with him and Lingard, you can just tell that they're special players, and the future's bright for him, and will be the main judge will be next season. So this year is just a luxury for him to be in the squad, to be honest.
Yeah. How many times, Duke, have you said since he walked through the door that today's going to be the day? is today going to be the day?
He stitches me up. He stitches me up every week. I say to him, right? I say, don't I? Every bloody preview we've done, Gatesy, since we've done this. It's score night. This is the one. This is it. He's going to break his down. Oh, he's coming in. He's coming in strong. Oh, it's going to be a great goal. And once he does that, he's going to be off and running. He ain't scoring tonight. He ain't scoring.
We said
he's going to prove me wrong. Watch. But I'm telling you now, he ain't scoring. He get hat trick.
We
promise you.
said that. We said that on the preview last Saturday. Yeah, last Saturday, wasn't it? I said 3-0, and I said Ben Rama was going to score. So I've not predicted him today either, to be honest. So hopefully, Duke, we're wrong today, and he scores a belter.
Mate, I tell you, it's ridiculous. He's got, as you were just saying, you can see him being here at the club for up to 5 years, taking through to his 30s, and that's exactly it. I think he's got all the makings of everyone's alluded to it on all the other videos that we've done, not just these tier lists, but when you're talking previews and stuff. He's probably the most skillful player that we have at the club. As in with the tricks that he's got in his pockets and stuff. So it's not going to be long. And I promise you now, as we've discussed, when that first one does find the back of the net, as you just said there, mate, it'll be a different player. He'll be playing with a weight off his shoulders. He can relax, because I'm telling you now, every time you saw it against Leeds, every time he got into a position where he could unleash, he wasn't steady. It wasn't the right position, but he was still letting go. A bit like Lingard when he first came in. Buy a ticket and eventually you will win the raffle. And I think Ben Rama was trying that a little bit too hard against Leeds. I just think he needs to just play his normal game, and it will come. It will come. But yeah, I think he's a supreme talent, and I'm glad we got him. I really am. I'm really glad we went out of our way to go and get the kid. I'm really pleased.
Good. Next player on the hit list, Andy, is Jarrod Bowen.
He's the same, mate. Long term. I could see him. What is he? He's a couple of years younger, 23, 24. He's just a player what we've been crying out for years. The fact that you've got that player who just wants to run and take people on. And the one criticism what I have of this season has been his goals and his final ball. But I think that's probably to do with a bit of confidence and stuff like that. And I think that them 2 goals what he scored against Wolves at the start of the year put a bit too much pressure on him, in my opinion. And I think that now, I think in his head he just thinks he needs to just not get criticised. He needs to score. But you can just see that the impact what Lingard's had, not just on the front players, even on the wide players and everything else, they seem to have a bit more confidence. And to be fair to Bowen, he's not really played since Lingard's come in. He seems to be the one what's dropped out. So today will be the good test to see how that front four will link up, and I can only see it getting better and better. So yeah, he's a great talent as well.
Yeah, no, all good. Next on the list, we've got Vladimir Soufal.
Oh, another long term. It's just that's probably one of the easiest ones I'm going to have to pick.
Yeah.
I could see him being at 33, 34, still not he never looks out of breath, does he? Do you know what I mean? He runs up and down that pitch.
Super fit.
It's ridiculous.
I call him Zabka. He's a mixture of Rebka and Pablo Zabaleta.
Yeah, you know what?
Like Repka did.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right, and that's funny. Yeah, you're spot on. I love that. I'm going to use that. Sorry, I'm stealing that.
That's all right.
I've already put a copyright in.
No, he's just you can just tell right wing back, right back. Well, he's just so comfortable on the ball for a fullback, though. He never feels under pressure, even if he's got 2 players around him. He'll still find a pass, and his delivery, I think he's quite up there. What's he got? 4 or 5 assists as well. So no, he's another great talent, and if he's got any more of his mates, same as Souček in the Czech League, bring them over. I'm more for it. I'll take notice of them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I'm going to start studying that league next season. I really am. I'm going to start.
I'm already on it, mate. I've been keeping. I'll tell you exactly what I've been keeping an eye on. Is that Abdallah Sima?
Oh, he's
Just
something else,
the
mate.
stats that he's kicking out is just
He's a
like,
beast.
listen, this kid needs to be playing at a higher. No disrespect to Slavia Prague or the Czech league, but I look at him and I think that kid needs to be playing a higher level of football.
Yeah, but then I think the same can be said for who's the other one? Is it Sparta?
Adam Plosek. Yeah.
Oh, he's something else as well. I mean, listen, if we were to go out, honestly, if we were to go out, I think we've got a good relationship with Slavia at the minute. Obviously, with the two boys coming in, and you saw, was it one of their ambassadors to the Czech, the Czech government, wasn't it? They were doing the bits for Isla. If I mean, I'm not being funny. We got Vlad and Tom for what was it, 26 million? No. Yeah, 26 million for the pair of them, wasn't it?
24, I think. I think it was 19
for
Thomas and
absolute
5
madness.
million. So, yeah, there or thereabouts.
Absolute madness. And if we can go out and get Hlosek and get both Hlosek and Sima for, what, 30 million for the pair of them? I'd listen. I'd rather go get both of them for 30 million and pay that for Tony all day long.
Yeah.
All day long. Because I'll tell you what, them two kids have got a great future. Great future.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Right. So we move on. Next player on the hit list. And I've said he's this year's Cinderella man, Aaron Creswell, the comeback kid.
He's 1 or 2 seasons for me.
Yeah.
The only reason why is because of his age. He's a bit of like an Antonio for me. I think he'll be a great person to have around the dressing room, and he'll come in and do a job. But as it proves now in the Premier League, fullbacks, you need to have pace. And to be fair to him, that's what he hasn't got. And the older he gets, he won't have it. But you can just tell by his delivery. But you never know. He could turn into a centre back and play on for another couple of years. But no, fair play to him. And we was talking about bad egos, and I think the fact that a lot of them have now left, I think that's what's stepped him up as well. I think Moyes has probably said, look what's happened to Sanchez and all them. I know they were out of contract, but the players who we've let go, even Dean Garner from some aspects, if you're not up to my standards, you're out the door. And I think Moyes has got the respect from everyone. So I think that's the main reason for me.
Yeah.
Just having a look because I can basically on the Premier League, the Fantasy Premier League website. I'm just looking at it now. 194 defenders. Aaron Creswell is number 1.
What?
He's number 1. He's got more points than any other defender in the Fantasy Premier League. Of 194 defenders, he is number 1. He's got 133 points at present. He is 5 points ahead of this guy in second place, who's Manchester City's Ruben Diaz on 127. There you go.
Wow. Most of his points have come from his assists this year, haven't they?
Yeah.
To be fair, his assists
and probably a lot of
clean
sheets we had.
Yeah, there's that as well. Yeah.
No, he's been brilliant. And when you consider this was a player that a year, 18 months ago, a lot of people were wanting him to be sort of carted off. He's lost his pace, this, that, and the other. I've said it a few times on the previous videos, and Duke will bear me out. I do wonder whether part of it was down to the fact that he had a player in front of him in Felipe Anderson, who, with the greatest of respect to him, he's never going to offer the fullback that much in the way of protection. He's now got Pablo Fornals in front of him playing in that position, who is offering him a little bit more protection, and he's looking so much better for it. I also think that the move from left back to centre back when he's played there allowed him to sort of play in a slightly different way, and it boosted his confidence to the point where when he did eventually move back to fullback, because it's very much a confidence thing. Do you know what I mean? His confidence had been restored by that point, and he looked a better player, and he moved there, and it was like not a problem. So but I think he's brilliant. But I completely understand that you'd put him in that category simply because of his age.
Yeah, and it's not so much that though. It's like you said, you're on about his assists, but I just remember that ball what he done for Antonio at Leicester away. That was Beckham-esque, wasn't it? And I've got to admit, a year ago, I do the fan channels on West Ham Fan TV. I said he was the first player. I criticised him every game. Rightly, though, I did criticise him, and that's the same as what Nicky says. You like it when players prove you wrong, and he's done that. So fair play to him.
definitely.
Merseyside Maldini.
So the next player on the list, now this isn't at the moment technically our player, but I think he will be. I think, is it in the next 2 games if he plays, Duke? Is that right?
Yeah, there was a clause, wasn't there? If you played 14 games, the obligation kicked in, and we had 2.2. Seriously, that's mad.
His name, ladies and gentlemen, is Virgil van Dawson. Where are you going to put him, Milesy?
For me, that's 1 or 2 seasons as well.
Okay.
I feel this is the same situation like what I said with Antonio and Creswell. This is the way I'm judging these players are first team starters, not or squad players. So I can see him being Europe or cup games only, because I feel that we'll need to go out and get the younger ones with a bit more. But with regards to his leadership skills and everything like that, he's definitely someone, and a bargain for that. Just think we was going to pay 40 million for Tarkowski, and even last night seeing Tarkowski play, I know who I'd rather want in the starting 11.
Yeah.
Here's a hypothetical for you, Andy. If Craig Dawson right now wasn't in a West Ham shirt, but he was in a Manchester United shirt, a Liverpool shirt, a Chelsea shirt, does he play for England?
Yeah. It reminds me very much as Phil Jagielka. He was a very player who would always be in the squad all the time, and I think, no disrespect, it's because he played for Everton. He was getting in the squad, and then you see the likes of, sorry if it seems like I'm going ranting on, but
no.
The other Dawson who played for Tottenham, I always forget
Michael
his first
Dawson.
name.
Yeah,
Michael Dawson.
Michael. Yeah.
He was exactly the same, and I was a very high rated of him. And as usual, if you don't play for the top 6 sides, you never really. Rice is the exception.
I think you have to be exceptional to get into the England team and not play for one of the Sky Sports top 6.
Yeah, agreed.
As the term has been coined, I think was Gonzo, wasn't it? Calls him that, but But yeah, I mean, Declan Rice is obviously I've said it. I think I said it on one of my videos last week. Declan Rice is a once in a generation player. The last time we produced a player of that sort of potential and the level he's even at now, and I still don't think he's the finished article. The last player we had like that, in my opinion, was Rio Ferdinand. So they come around once every 20, 25 years. So, but you're right. I mean, in order for us to get a player in the England squad, they have to be operating at that level. But I seriously think that Craig Dawson, if you put him in a Manchester United shirt, and he puts in the performances that he has done in a Manchester United shirt that he's put in for us, does he get in the next England squad? Yeah, I think he does. But does he get in the England squad wearing
I think he's a
claret and blue shirt?
for the
Probably
England
not.
squad in another team. I really do. Yeah. I think he's a shoo-in.
Yeah, crazy.
Because the way Southgate plays with the 3 at the back, he would fit well with the likes of a John Stones and Carl Walker. If I had the choice, I'd have Dawson, Stones, and Carl Walker as your back 3, because you've got Carl with the pace, you've got Dawson who just seems to have the leadership skills, and John Stones this season's probably been one of the standout, but the best England centre back, in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I'll do.
They're talking about Eric Dyer. I don't even know how he gets into the England side, guys. I really don't. I honestly, they're saying, we'll take him because he can play at CDM as well. No, he can't. He's absolute.
Do you know the reason why he's still in? Because he scored that fucking penalty against Colombia. That's the only reason he's still in that squad. That is the only reason.
Yeah. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve to be there based on the last few games, especially against us. He was awful against us. I've got to say, I was surprised at how bad the Spurs centre backs were against us. I've got to say, I didn't think they were that poor, but they are poor.
Talking about centre backs, I'll put it on your comment yesterday when when all the previews come in for the game. How the hell is Harry Maguire even in the England squad? I don't know. I really don't understand.
Because he's in a Man United shirt.
Don't jinx it. He'll bloody have a worldie tonight. Watch. You can see it happening. We've done it now. We've done it. That's it. It's over. I'm not watching.
Yeah. But it's the same. It's the same thing, Milesy. You know, it's because he's in a Manchester United shirt. You know, if Harry Maguire was was putting in those sort of performances in a claret and blue shirt, does he get in the England squad? No, of course he doesn't.
No, of
So,
course you don't.
But there you go. We're going off on a tangent.
Yeah,
it's
sorry.
a Diop.
Long term for me. Long term for me. He's not his peak yet, and for what I've seen over the last 2 or 3 games where he's slotted in with Dawson, you can see. I always knew he had potential, and he just needed time. And the fact that, for me personally, I feel more comfortable with him with Dawson than I do with Bonner.
Okay.
I think Diop. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Diop spends more time on the left side of the centre back, and I think he feels more comfortable there than the right. With obviously Bonner being left-footed. Sorry,
Yeah.
But no, Diop's got a great future, and like you said, centre backs peak later. And what is it? I saw Ben say that comment as well.
Isn't he?
Yeah, 23, 24. So he's still got another 10 years in him, and hopefully he's in the claret and blue shirt.
Yeah. Duke, I'm going to let you jump in here because I know what's coming.
Everyone knows what's coming by now, mate. Andy, you probably heard me talk about it already across a couple of the other videos and maybe even in the preview about the fact that Hammers News put it out there that Moyes is kind of CDM deficiency, if you will, of only really having Rice and Souček there as the core 2 defensive midfielders. That Diop could step in. They were likening him in the report to Patrick Vieira. Don't get me wrong, he's got a long way to go to get anywhere near that. But I think he's shown a couple of times that he can break out of defence from that centre back role with a ball at his feet, and he's comfortable with running with the ball. What do you reckon? Say pre-season next year. Would you give him a few games, try him out in that CDM role? Because I think that he could be. What is he? 6'4"? I think he's a tall, gangly sod, isn't he? I mean, and he's only 23, 24. He's got. I think, like you said there, he's got a great career in front of him, and he hasn't. He certainly hasn't peaked yet. When you look at the likes of Van Dijk, I think he got his Liverpool move, didn't he? About 27, 28. So. What's your take on that? Like, tell me, do you think he would be able to take that role on his wing?
Yeah, and the way I see it as well, mate, is if you see him play, let's just say, for example, you move Souček more forward and slot him in there with Rice, is when we're defending, or say, for example, if you're playing Man City, you can keep switching between 5 at the back and 4 at the back. You go, can you slot in that centre and then just move everyone back? So if you just think that rotation of the formations, what you can do even during the game, it's not like you need to make a sub. You can just make that swap. And I could see
your game management, Yeah,
no, I agree, mate. I would love to see him there. And like you said, worst case scenario, you can he'll definitely do a job there. So,
a thought's just popped into my head there, just as you say that. It's Diop and Declan Rice at holding midfield, and you could move Souček and play as a false 9.
Oh, listen, it's a scary thought that we're even discussing that right now. It's a scary thought because that's quite when we're talking about the possibility of Champions League or Europa League football for next season. Just gives us another bow in our quiver as to ideas and formations and plans. And like Andy said there, I hadn't really thought of it like that. But you could even go 4 at the back, 3 defensive midfielders with like you say, Souček, even Diop pushing forward. I mean, when you look at that, and then when you consider what you're adding into your set piece attacking and defending height wise. You're adding another 6-footer into the mix. You've got the likes of Antonio, who's a lump that just decides he's going to do a Kevin Nolan and hold the goalkeeper on the line. When you've got players like Diop, Dawson, Souček, Rice, Ogbonna, my God, some teams ain't going to stand a chance because they're absolute monsters attacking that ball. And that, we're winning the Champions League next year, boys.
That'd be a nice way, and Mark know what to finish, wouldn't it?
It's happening. It's happening. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. Next
I'm
on the
gonna go for a
list,
bet on.
Lucas Fabianski.
1 or 2 seasons for me.
Yeah.
He's, like you said, goalkeepers can go on till God knows what age, depending on how fit they are. But in my opinion, I think he's one injury away of him retiring. If he gets another injury like what he did last season, you can't see him coming back. In my opinion, fair play. I've never wanted a goalkeeper. If we got him 3 or 4 years ago, before when we signed him, well, that would have been, he would probably go up there with one of the great goalkeepers we've had. Not that his standards dropped, but for me, I don't want another situation. Say, for example, if we have a good run next year in Europe and all of a sudden he's out, we might as well just call the season over, and I don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he would, even though he signed a 1-year deal, he'll be my number 2 next year. I want to go out and get a number 1. He'll be number 1 for years and years to come. So that's my opinion.
Who'd be your pick? Realistically, I'm talking. Obviously, obviously money is an object as far as West Ham are concerned. If you believe the reports that 60 million is apparently the budget that he's going to be given, and we obviously know that we need more than just a goalkeeper. So, all that being considered, who do you think realistically we should be aiming to get in? And how much would you be looking to pay?
See, we were thinking about it. Do you remember when we was talking about it last week? I would take Depracchia now from Newcastle.
Okay.
That would be my first choice. Or Sam Johnson, whatever one's available. And either way, I'd feel happy of them being number 1 for West Ham, because the goalkeepers now, you don't really get, no disrespect to the Depracchia is a bit of a exception, but the foreign goalkeepers, they don't come out and catch the ball. With Sam Johnson,
they like punching it, don't they?
I feel more comfortable with a goalkeeper coming out. Say, for example, if he spills one every 15, that's still better than trying to punching a ball. Just reminds me of Roberto against Burnley, and it just gives me nightmares thinking about it. So for me, Sam Johnson or the Newcastle goalkeeper. I'd love Nick Pope or Henderson, but like you said, that's all of our budget. But this 60
What about Areola at Fulham?
Costs too much money, mate. In my opinion, I think he's in the same bracket as Nick Pope and Henderson. I could see them asking for 25-30 million, but this 60 million, what's apparently what we've got, is that for us finishing that we're going to finish mid-table? Do you think that say, for example, if you finish 4th, just think that's an extra, was it 40 million from finish 10th? Is it every 4? So that could add more money. And the way I see it is, Moyes, from what Moyes has spent, Moyes' money is, when he spends money, is like his own money, and he's just not going to go out and spend it for the sake of it. And I think the board have realised now, if Moyes was still in charge instead of Pellegrini, and he had that money to spend, I'd dread to think can imagine where we could be now, even though we're doing so well. How many other couple of good seasons we could have had. So so for me it'll be Johnson realistically, or the Newcastle goalkeeper.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so the next player on the list, Pablo Fornals.
Another long-term player. When we signed him, I thought he was our answer to the number 10, but he's not a number 10 no more. He is a workaholic, and what a signing he's been, and I can't praise him enough. I really can't, and he proved me wrong. The first 2 games I saw him, I was like, oh, he's slow. He's final. He's exactly the same as what Bowen said. If he just looked up, or he could finish, he could probably be our top goal scorer if he could finish. I could name the amount of times he's hit the post or scuffed a shot, but that can only get he can only get better. And I would like you said, these young players, look at that top bracket. Apart from Soufal is the later side of 20. Look how young them top players are. You can only get better, can't it, with that youth? So
Absolutely. No, I think he's a cracking player, and people sort of seem to have a go at him because they sort of say, oh, but he's not a left winger, but he's doing the job that he's been asked to do for the team. And can you say that he's not doing a good job? Yeah, I mean, yes, all right. For me, he is a number 10 all day long. But at the minute, would he get in the number 10 slot ahead of Jesse Lingard? Absolutely no chance.
But sorry, mate. No, that's what I was going to say. Is that front four switch around anyway? So they all take it in turns, and that's a fine art, and you can tell they're all working on it in training. Even Antonio tracks back and on the left and covers. They know they need the rest, and I'd love to see the stats at the end of the season how much mileage that them boys have done, and I'm guessing it'll be right up there.
Yeah, I'm sure I can find it. It's out there somewhere. I'll get it, Duke. Don't worry. I got something to show you after the recording. I've got a little something to show you. I'm not going to bore everybody else with this, but it's an interesting little thing I found on
Knickers. Leicester have just gone 1-0 up.
That's all right.
I've just got it down here on my Mobley. But
listen, if that's our way this weekend,
I was going to say, if that's the only result that goes against us in the next over this weekend, then we're going to be laughing. Just hope that Arsenal do us a favour a bit later.
Fingers crossed.
They're the one that's further away. Yeah, they're the ones that are just a little bit further away than the other ones.
Yeah.
I bet I've just realised the game's on in the background. You might get done for copyright. I've just turned it off. Probably say illegal broadcasting or something. I've just done. That's all you need.
It's only about 3 inches, mate. I doubt it.
Yeah.
You're all right.
Yeah, I think you'll be all right. Ryan Fredericks.
He's another 1 or 2 seasons for me. Mm-hmm. He will be a player who we're crying out for in Europe next year. That to have that outball, because a lot of the sides, I don't even know what countries are in the Europa League. It's so random, like the Swiss league and stuff like that. The one, it doesn't matter what league you're in, you can't defend pace. And he for me is not a right back no more. He's a winger. Moyes is going to convert him into a winger, and he will be the answer what we need for. Just think, after Masuaku's not been in this season. In Europe, potentially you could have Masuaku and Fredericks both on the wings for European games. That's your outball.
Scary thought.
Yeah. So no, Fred, you can go. I've said it on so many channels. Fredericks is not a defender, but he would be a winger. Luke on the free hammers, he says it. I've said it to him all the time, and then when he plays Villa. I've shut a lot of people up, to be perfectly honest. Everyone slagged him off, and he's come in and he had a good start to the season. He's just unlucky with injuries, but no. Good player in my opinion.
Cool. Next one on the list, we've got Ben Johnson.
Long term for me.
Easy. Oh, hang on. What happened there? Why did I put Felipe Anderson somehow got dragged across?
No, Felipe Anderson was in 1 or 2 seasons.
Oh, he was? No.
Yeah. He was, and you've got to move Ben Johnson up to long term.
Yeah, no, he's there. Right, yeah.
There you go. Right, carry on.
Happy days. Carry on.
Sorry. So what was it? Ben Johnson. Yeah, Ben Johnson's got another bright future ahead of him. Like you said, he can play on. We've not seen the best of him. I can't wait to see him in the right back, and I feel he will flourish there. He does a job definitely on the left, but it's just a bit frustrating. He does use his left foot every now and again, but it just gets so frustrating when you haven't got the Masuaku or a left-footed player. Once you get to the byline, you can see the runs like what Souček makes on the left, and if someone could just cross it in would score more goals. But no, he's to come in. I'm pleased he got his goal this season as well. That's gave him the breath of confidence, and he was our best player in the Man United game away in the FA Cup. He was the player who wanted the ball and was demanding. But no, he's got a bright future ahead of him as well.
Yeah, Duke, you made an interesting point about him being a right footer playing on the left side of defence.
He looks comfortable. I think he looks more comfortable playing as a right footer on the left than he does a right footer on the right. He seems he just seems more comfortable. One thing I think I said when he put that ball, when he scored that goal in the cup, it was a composed, calm finish. Whereas if he'd been on the other side of the pitch, or he'd actually been a left-footed player, he would have been lashing at that and just swinging that standing foot. But I like to say, when I played, I was a right-footed player that preferred to play on the left side of centre back. I just felt more comfortable as that position. And then if I played as a wing back, I preferred to play on the left and be able to cut in. So, I mean, the good thing for me with Ben is he has the ability to play both sides. So as I mentioned in one of our videos before, you've got Soufal and you've got Fredericks, right side. You've got Creswell, you've got Johnson, and you've got Masuaku, who can play left. But with that being said, you've got Johnson, or you've got Creswell and Masuaku, Soufal, Fredericks. You've got Johnson that can go either side. So essentially, across two positions, you've got 5 players that can fill that void. And like you've already said there, Andy, you've got Masuaku, who is more of an attacker than he is a defender, but could do a job as a wing back. Same with Fredericks, So you've kind of got 5 players there that can essentially fill out 4 roles, if you want, the straightforward left and right backs, or the wing backs. But also something that Russ mentioned yesterday, we've got Harrison Ashby in there as well. So you've actually got, if we do get into the Europe, depending on obviously what level of European football we qualify, be it Champions League, Europa League, or the Conference, you've essentially got 6 players there that can be rotated for certain games. Listen, at the end of the day, the players have got experience. So if Ashby comes in and plays our League Cups and frees up the other 4 or 5 boys there to be able, you've got Ashby one side, Johnson the other side in the League Cup. You've got the other boys that are fresh to be able to play the other games. I'm certainly not against that, because I'm not being funny. Arsenal did that for years, and they really did develop some talent out of their academy. A lot of good players came through from them just playing the League Cups. And to be fair, they got to the finals and they stuck with the kids, So I don't see why we can't. I don't see, at the end of the day, the cups are the cups. But I like Johnson. I think he's got a long West Ham career in front of him.
Next player on the list, Andy, we've got Manuel Lanzini.
See ya.
Yeah. Oh, it breaks my heart.
I'd even pay for his Uber to the airport.
Oh, yeah, you're not a fan.
When he scored that goal against Tottenham, I thought that's him. He's gonna push on. That's the confidence he's need. But since he's come in, I'm dreading it. He's got a number 10 on the back of his shirt. He should be 99. He shouldn't even be anywhere near that team. He's finished. He needs to go to a league where it's a lot slower and he can do what he wants. So yeah, if in my opinion, he's long gone. Not even for Europe. I think he'll just make us slow us down and everything.
Do you think he might make a success of it in, as you said there, a sort of like a slower league, like say Serie A?
Yeah, Serie A, or I don't know whether I follow him a bit on Instagram as well, and a lot of his posts seem to be for the clubs back in Argentina and stuff like that. He's sitting there watching that, and as far as I'm concerned, fuck off and go there.
No problem. He's off. Right, next on the list, he's the other one of our Lone Rangers, Jesse Lingard.
See ya. No, I'm joking.
You're a hard man to please, Milesy. You really are.
No.
Where are you putting him?
If we could have him for another 5 years, he'll be on the levels of. I could just see him with Rice. He will be a good vice captain to have around with his European experience and stuff like that as well. Him helping the youngsters through. He'll be a great addition, and I'm just gutted he can't play today, but he will make up for it next week without a doubt. And I always knew it would be a success. Everyone was against it. I've got a few Man United fans, solid, not plastic Man United fans at work who go home and away. They're the Hornchurch like United people, so they get a coach from Hornchurch and go like to a lot of the games, and they're gutted he's not playing. When they see Mata coming on for him when they had the chance, and that's nice to see. And the thing is, what I like about him is he's going under the radar. He's going under the radar. He's just doing everything what he does, and from what I make out, he wants to stay anyway. And everyone says that it goes a bit unnoticed, but you don't walk around in a West Ham top and get your daughter a West Ham kit if you don't care about the club. I don't. That's not a front. That's not a front. He honestly wants to stay, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree, and I think he's got the right sort of mentality that there seems to be a very obvious shift in mentality. You look at players like Rice, like Soucek, like Soufal, like Lingard. These are players that and Ogbonna and Dawson. These are players that have that winning mentality. Do you know what I mean? And we've not had enough players in the team in the first 11 and on the bench with that sort of mindset. And I think it's so important. And David Moyes I think he's not just signed, and I've said it on previous videos that we've put out, I don't think he's just signed players based on their ability. I think he's brought players in based on their ability aligned with their characteristics, their sort of like their inner sort of strength, if you will.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and and it's not so much that, like I said, his leadership skills and stuff like that. If you noticed, Leeds tried to put 2 players on Lingard, and he was still producing. And if you've got like Antonio, but I can see us getting a top striker in the summer. Just think if you've got Lingard occupying 2, imagine a strike brain.
The space
counting on to that space. So future's bright in my opinion.
So where's he going in the long term section? Yes.
Yes, please, mate.
Bang. Right. Okay. David Martin.
See ya.
Yeah. Had your moment at Stamford Bridge, mate.
Yeah, he's had his moment, but like you said though, he makes the numbers up on the training ground. Would he be? I think he's on like what, 5 or 10 grand a week, so it's not exactly hitting the wage budget. But you shouldn't be. That's where Trot should be. Trot should be in Martin's position, and until Martin leaves the club, he's not going to get his chance, in my opinion. So it's a fantastic story, and he's done well where he has, but he's got to go now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think his contract's up anyway, isn't it, in the summer?
I think it might be. I think so. You mentioned Nathan Trot, and he's not on this particular version of the tier list, but do you think that the club missed a trick by not sending him back out on loan like they did last season?
Yeah, we were talking about that last week, but I think the club's done a smart move there though, because if he's not going to be playing first team football, what's the point of loaning him out if he's got more chance of learning on the training ground with top better players? So I think the club's done a good move there. But no, I would have liked him to go out, but I think he needs to if he can, but he needs to play in the cup. He needs to play in the cup games, and then that's when he'll get seen, and the other clubs will come calling.
Yeah, fair enough.
But he's
next
still
player
very
on the
young
list.
for the goalkeeper.
Oh yeah. You say they could go on until they're in their sort of like early 40s. So late 30s, early 40s, not a problem. All things being well. Next on the list, we've got Arthur Masuaku.
See ya.
Oh, do you know what? I thought for a minute this was going to be your first not sure.
Nah.
Brutal.
I mentioned pace, like what we could have in Europe. But thinking about it again, we're West Ham United. We should be looking for better now. He's done a good job when he's played, but I thought our season would hit the. I think we've got better with him out of the side. So I can see us getting 15, 20 million from him in the summer. I could see a Turkish or an Italian side coming in for him. You take advantage of that amount of money, and I would, even if Brentford come up, I'd go and get Rico Henry from Brentford.
Okay.
Or I would be cheeky, even though I don't think they'll do business. I would go and get Lookman.
Okay.
He's only on loan to Fulham from Red Bull, and can you imagine him as an outlet for Europe and coming off the pitch. So yeah, the money what I'd get, I think he's done very well. So I think he may go onto the 25 million mark, but that will only be 10 million out of our budget if we get 15-20 million for Masuaku.
What would you say would be your preference out of the two, Lookman or Henry?
Lookman.
Yeah.
Because Johnson, like you said, I've said up there, Johnson can play left back if it's the worst case scenario, and if the money does come good, we can even get a better left. Creswell got another season in him as a left back, I think.
Yeah.
So there's no point panic buying for the sake of it. You'd invest, and Lookman won't be around. There's going to be a lot of clubs out in for him. That's the problem with West Ham, and I think we've done well. Like the signing of, we need to be, as soon as that window opens on July the 1st, we need to get Lingard done. Even for pre-season, first day back for pre-season, then players need to be in that, or going away even.
Andy, you say that, but I mentioned this last night, and I've said it before already. Lingard, you said earlier, has expressed an interest in sticking around and staying at West Ham, right? And West Ham have expressed an interest that we want him to stay. Why are we waiting? Listen? We all know that a deal can be struck up, signed off, ratified, and everything else before July 1st. We know this because we've seen it happen with the pre-contract signings and everything else. So we know these deals can be done.
Yeah.
Lingard wants to stay here. We want Lingard to stay here. Let's get it done now. Let's pick up that phone. Let's get in touch with United. Let's not dick around waiting for Leicester to come in at the end of the season or Everton to come in at the end of the season after he's gone on a run in the next 10 games after today and he scores braces in every single one, picks up 20 goals in the end of the season, which let's say, listen, it's not impossible that he's not going to score 2 every game. Let's be honest, he's capable of doing so. And all of a sudden, you're going to have United going, wait a minute, 20 million's a bit lesser than what we want now. We might keep him. We might sign him up. You've got Everton. You've got Leicester. There's several other teams in and around that top 6 that would be interested in taking a Jesse Lingard. I don't understand why we just don't pick up the phone now to United. Go, yeah, we want him. 20 million, job done. There's the money. Crack on. Listen, we know it's coming out of our budget in the summer, so let's do it now.
Maybe we have. Who knows?
You know, you make it. You never know. The thing is, what you could say is, you'll say 20 million, but you'll go, if he scores, like you said, 10 goals before the end of the season, we'll give you another 5. Do you know what I mean? That you could do like something like that, or like you said, get the deal done.
He scores 15, 20 goals in the first season. Give him another 10. It's you structure the deal in such a way that they think they're going to get a little bit more out of it, but you play the game. So you kind of go, all right, if he scores 20 goals in his first season at West Ham, there's another 4 or 5 million quid in it for you. And then, you know what? You don't play him in the last 4 games if he's only got to get 1. It's not that. I ain't paying extra. But you see the idea. You have to work it in your favour. And listen, them toss pieces that currently run us, Lover is 3 million a year for the next 97 years to be able to pay off someone like Ben Rama or something. They're trying to structure their transfer fees in the same way that they structured the payment for the bloody stadium. That's what they're trying to do.
But no, okay. I can see Man United doing business with us now. It's not like we've fucked them off either. And the way they see it, let's better than leaving for free. So yeah,
agreed.
Now, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who've seen this will know what's coming next, and those of you that haven't, this is a little bit of a plot twist. So I've been going alphabetically at this point. I'm going to change. The next player I'm going to go for is Andrei Yamalenko.
Do you just want to move it already, mate?
Well, if he's going where I think he's going in the bin, is he?
Yeah. Straight in the bin where he belongs. 140 grand a week. I would take his wages away and give it to Isla. I would.
definitely.
honestly just think, well, it'll be more beneficial. No, can't stand the guy. I loved him when he scored the winner against Chelsea, but what has he done last season? Absolutely. Couple of goals against lower league teams. He just walks around with an arrogance like, I'm Andre Yamalenko. Don't get me wrong, I think X has said it on his podcast. He's probably the most technically better finisher than we've got at the club, but he doesn't use it. No. Don't even want to talk about him any longer. Bye-bye.
Yep. Move on. The Potato Salad Kings next. The deep-lying goal-scoring sensation from the Czech Republic, Mr. Thomas Souček.
Long term, please. 10 years, please. Can you put 10 years? Can you put
Yeah,
like above long term for him and Rice? Just put them in the category. Never leave. No, what a signing he is, and I was just so fucked off with that £30 million bid what Barcelona tried to come in for. Are they just having
Wasn't
a
even
fucking
that,
laugh?
was it? It was
That's
26, I think.
was it? Was it? Oh,
Yeah,
I thought it was.
wasn't even
But
30.
yeah, no. Everyone said it. I was watching a few I can't remember what it was. There was another like Premier League one where they were doing a review. They had a few fans. Even other clubs were just saying. Even Man City was saying how they would love Souček in their squad. Not for first team, but in and around. That just proves what a gem we picked up. And I honestly, even if a big club come calling, if we're at the level top half, I can't see him leaving. I think him and Soufal just love the club and they're grateful we gave him the opportunity, and I can't see him leaving.
Yeah, they're absolutely brilliant. So, I mean, for me, he's hammer of the year unless something goes drastically wrong over the next 11 games. Magnificent. And I come back to the Tottenham game where he has his head smashed open. There's claret flying everywhere, and if that had been a Jack Grealish, if that had been a Mo Salah, or players of that ilk, he'd have been crashing to the floor, screaming, clutching his head, rolling around, and all that, getting the play stopped. What happened? He got straight back up and defended the second ball. Absolutely brilliant mindset. Fantastic. Love him.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. He's a fantastic player.
I just love them kind of players. Like even on what was it, Pancake Day? Did you see like him and Soufal? They were doing like stuff with their kids and they're in like West Ham slippers and training tops and stuff like that. That's just pure class. And I think it was the Man City game at home. And Soufal had his child there watching the game and was like saying that, and they had like the tops and that. Like that just got everyone thinks that's like a little thing. Why are you getting so? That goes a long way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to the fans, what it means that people love to wear that shirt, and all them bad egos are gone, and there may be the odd couple still lying around, which I could see one of them.
Moyes will have them out the door at some point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But no, what a player he is, and I can't wait to see what he can produce.
Brilliant. Next player on the hit list. Now, this is a player at this precise moment in time is on loan to Aris Thessaloniki. He has 23 appearances for them and 3 goals. Zander Silva.
See ya.
Boom.
Sadly,
he's in the bin.
Yeah, he's a Tony Martinez all over again, and I feel
he is, isn't he?
No disrespect to the youth side or anything, but in my opinion, the only success we're going to have of a striker ever breaking in to the West Ham team, they will have to be English. The foreign players, the strikers who we're trying to buy, they're just not cut out for the Premier League, in my opinion. You've not seen even a top side bring a young. The only one who springs to mind for me at the minute is Arsenal's Martinelli. It's probably been the only foreign forward who's come through the youth and continued to play in a few years. And you just see the Man Uniteds of bringing Greenwoods and the Rashfords and stuff like that through. And I think they have to be English, in my opinion, for a striker to break through.
Yeah, the next Tony Cottee, hopefully.
Oh, how great would that be?
That'd be something special, really would. Saying about players breaking through, this young lad did it. Declan Rice.
The kings at the top, please, mate.
Yeah.
I've seen again a few people have been worried. They still think he's good. If we finish in the top half every year, I cannot see Declan Rice leaving this football club. I honestly can't for at least another 3 years. I think he's happy. He's settled. He's got the captain's armband, and he's just learning more every day. And the key for Declan Rice staying as well, in my opinion, is obviously Moyes and the backroom staff. If any of Moyes' backroom staff leave to go on to another thing, that's where my concern will be. If they're all happy of working in that mould and bringing the great togetherness, I can't see anyone in that long term leaving the club.
Yeah. No.
That being said, obviously, I think we need to improve year on year, though, Andy. You know, even if it was just a position by position for him to stay. Like you say, at some point, I think a footballer's desire, especially one as good as Deck, in my opinion, anyway. Again, it's what this is all about. These shows. A footballer's desire, is when you're as good as Deck, is to win trophies. And sadly, at the moment, like and obviously with the board that we've got, the money being spent to strengthen the squad, and that's not just replace the players. You know, we lose Yamalenko and we bring someone in of equal quality just on less money. That's not strengthening the squad. I mean, bringing in someone in, even if it's on comparable money at 140 grand a week, but someone who's significantly better and will produce more for the club. You know, if we're not going to see that, and we don't see us, you know, a good cup run every year, League Cup or FA Cup, really pushing the boundaries of trying to win that trophy. If we're nowhere near that in 3 or 4 years' time, then yes, Deck will walk out the door all day long. And you know what? I'll be the first one to sit there and I'd roll out the red carpet for him to leave, because I couldn't blame him. You couldn't blame him. He deserves, a player of his caliber deserves to win trophies. There's no two ways about it, you know. So I'd listen. If we can't give him what he needs, I'd quite happily say, like in the same way as Carrick for me. Carrick had all the quality and the class after we got relegated that I was quite willing to see him go off and win trophies after that, you know. So it'd be the same way for me for Declan Rice. I'd rather him win him at Upton Park. Look at me. I'd rather see him win them with West Ham, obviously, even if it's just an FA Cup or two. I'd love to see him win with West Ham, and no doubt so would he. But I think we have to face reality that if we don't do what we need to do over the next 3 or 4 years, he will unfortunately fly the coop to go and win those trophies.
I can see him waiting until 2023 when the owners can go to see what ambition.
Yeah, fair comment.
That's the reason why I've put him in that bracket, because I can see. I think that's why a lot of them. I think Lingard's probably looking at. They all talk. They're not stupid. And
you know they do. Yeah,
they're thinking. Soon as they're gone, just think what it could be. I don't think Leicester will be the prime example. Look what they've done since they've won the league. They've not. Don't get me wrong. But they had the Champions League, so they dipped a bit and they finished. What did they finish like? Not. Or whatever, but since then and when they sell a place with better quality, and when we get the better owners, that's what I can see West Ham doing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair point. Next player on the hit list, we've got Winston Reed.
See ya. I can see him. He's apparently he's got man of the match in a lot of Brentford games this season.
Yeah.
And I can see them coming in for him and want him with his Premier League experience to help them, because I do think they're going to come up. I can see them buying him buying him to use experience what he's got for playing for us to play in the back line and help him through. So he's got 1 year left on his deal. But you'd even take 5 or 6 million. I think he's on like 80 grand a week or whatever it is. So I know I keep mentioning wages and stuff like that, but over a year that all adds up, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do you think he could be some sort of make weight in a deal for Ivan Toney, whether they come up or not?
I personally, I'm not a Tony fan. I'm
No?
not going to say I watch him week in, week out, but that's a risk of buying it. And West Ham's of a club where you can't spend. We've done it with Haller.
Yeah.
We can't waste 30 million of our budget on someone who's not proven. That's where the likes of Danny Ings is. I know he's had his injuries again, but the Danny Ings, and you bring in someone like Simmer to work on signing. Can you imagine a player of his age, what is he, 19, learning off movement because he's not quick of Danny Ings and Antonio. So that's for me. No Tony for me either.
Yeah. How about Tammy Abraham?
I'll take him on a loan with option to buy, so we don't have to pay for it this season. See how he does. If he's shit, you send him back.
Yeah.
For me, no, he's not. Unless we play 4-4-2 in like Europe. No, why not?
What's happened, Duke? Is it equaliser?
Oh no, I was cheering. Andy agreed with me.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, I thought you meant.
To be fair, you say that though. Jamie Vardy's just Jamie Vardy from 8 yards out has just absolutely missed a glorious. It's a sitter. There's the man on the line. I think it was Basham on the line, and he hit it straight at him. Like literally, he cleared it off the line with his head, but he's hit it straight at him. Anywhere else, it's going in. It's embarrassing. Yeah. It's embarrassing for me. I just looked out. I was like, I know it might have even been Norwood. It was just shocking finishing. That's the sort of thing that I'd expect to see from. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's the sort of thing I'd expect to see from Soufal when he's through on goal. And we all saw what he did a couple of weeks ago when he was like,
what do I do when I'm here?
Yeah. He got a nosebleed going so far forward, didn't he, the poor sod? So, yeah.
Dear, oh dear. Next one, Darren Randolph.
This one is not sure for me.
Okay.
It depends if we get a replacement. If we bring in another, like I said,
Johnston,
if we don't, then he'll have to stay. But for me, he's not good enough. He's not good enough. Everyone says he's a good number 2 to have, but in my opinion, the Man City, if Fabianski was in goal, I know it was that long ago, Fabianski would have come out and got that first goal and probably may have at least got a touch on Stones' goal against City. So he's come in and he's done a job when he has to. I think Everton springs to mind, but he's not. Just think if we had Sam Johnson and Fabianski, you'd feel confident if either one of them was out. But with him in goal, no.
If you was David Moyes in the summer and you don't get in that Sam Johnston or an other goalkeeper, and you've got Fabianski, you've got rid of David Martin, who's the number 2 goalkeeper between Nathan Trot and Darren Randolph if it was you in that situation?
If it was me, it would be Nathan Trot.
Yeah.
Nathan Trot for me. I know you've had James on the show saying he's not good enough or anything like that, which is, like you said, this is what this show's about. Everyone has their opinions. But how can you say he's not good enough if you've not seen him play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? You can't say he's good enough. You can't say he's not good enough because what's he done at Premier League level? Nothing. So you don't know. It's a step into the unknown. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Everyone said Joe Hart didn't have a future when he was at Birmingham after Man City bought him from Shrewsbury. Look how he turned out. He won a Premier League title with Man City. So you like you said, I'm not gonna. Sorry, 1-2. Yeah, and that just proves it as well. Is in my opinion, he should be in goal for Tottenham because whenever I've seen him play, even in Europe, he's a lot better than the Reeds, and he's their cut goalie, and he's still doing well now.
Yeah,
there you go. Down to the last 2, Angelo Ogbonna.
1 or 2 seasons for me.
Mm-hmm.
This for me in the summer. Because of how many I've got rid of anyway, we'll need to bring bodies in. This is where you go out and get another Issa Diop, for example. You have Ogbonna working alongside him for another 1 or 2 years, because, like you said, Ogbonna's a lot better with age. He knows the Italian side of defending, which is still to this day is the best way to defend. Look what they've had since the 90s or 80s or whatever. You never really see a shit Italian defender, do you really?
It's not allowed.
All the ones that have come to the. So for me, yeah, he's the one. Until the crowd noise, until no fans in there, I didn't realise how vocal he actually is.
Yeah,
Centre back. I don't know whether you noticed that. I never realised just how vocal he is, and what a threat he is from set pieces as well. Well, all of our centre backs are, but no, he's got he's I could see him even going on the coaching staff as well as like Noble. Do you know what I mean? Like, so he'll be a good role model to have. So yeah, 1 or 2 seasons for me.
Yeah. No. And we come to the last player. Now, this is why I deviated. I went alphabetically until I hit this player, and then I went to Yamalenko and attacked him from the other direction to leave this guy last. 520 career appearances in claret and blue, 60 career goals. He is Canning Town's finest, the club captain, the legend that is Mr. Mark Noble.
Hello?
hello.
Hello? Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
Are we back in the room?
Yeah, we're back in the room. Sorry, don't know what happened.
You mean
there.
to say I gave him that big introduction? You never heard me?
No, you got to do it again, mate.
Okay,
I've heard it before anyway. I've heard it before anyway on other videos.
520 career appearances, 60 career goals, Canning Town's finest, club captain Mark Noble.
Yeah. What? Can we? I think he should just have his own category as cult hero. He shouldn't even be in any of them. What a man he was, and I've got to admit, 2 years ago, I said he was finished. I said he was finished for that, but I think that was to do with Pellegrini. What Pellegrini's done to a lot of players, he made them be in the scapegoat when it really was the manager. But no, what a servant he's been to the club, and I honestly am so excited to have the fact that he's going to be on the coaching staff or be an ambassador for this club, because he will treat like what I said with Moyes with money. He treats this club like it's his life, and he's not going to go and do anything what will harm it. So no, he's just a great man and a great person on and off the pitch. So yeah, can't speak highly of him.
So where's he going, mate?
1 or 2 seasons for me.
Yeah,
and he'll be a
this
great
is obviously
addition
as a
to
player. So
yeah. No, it'll
absolutely
be a great addition to. Great addition for Europe as well. Can you imagine him alongside a Conor Coventry, for example, in a European game? So
good shout. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So just to bring it on full screen for everyone. So in Andy's long-term players selection of 3+ seasons, we've got Ben Rama, Bowen, Soufal, Diop, Rice, Fornals, Johnson, Lingard and Soucek. The 1 or 2 seasons category, we've got Antonio, Anderson, Creswell, Dawson, Fabianski, Fredericks, Ogbonna and Noble. The not sure category on his lonesome, Darren Randolph. And see ya, we've got Balbuena, Martin, Lanzini, Masuaku, Yamalenko, Silva and Winston Reed. That is Andy's tier list, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming, Andy.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, mate. I really appreciate it. Like I said, it's just so nice to see everyone have different opinions on their own side. And like you said, when people mention stuff what they like and don't like about players, it makes you think. Like today, watching the Man United game, I've seen like the comments like Ben and whoever have made comments, and where Ben plays, I know like Ben's played at a level, so he understands more about. And like when Duke said about centre back, you do pick up more on stuff what other people say. So no, thanks for the opportunity, mate.
Yeah, no, appreciate your time, and obviously we'll have you on again as other shows down the road, mate. You're always a good contributor. We appreciate your time. So last little thing before we wrap up, ladies and gentlemen. Start as you meet, you finish. Isla's Army. This is my little shout out. For those of you that missed it at the beginning, here it is at the end. So, Isla Caton, 6 years of age. She is suffering from a really aggressive, rare form of cancer called neuroblastoma. Her family have got to get her treatment, and they can't get it in this country, not available on the NHS. So they've got to put their entire life on hold here in the UK, cart this poor little girl to wherever it is that she's got to go to get the treatment to save her life. This is really, really expensive, very stressful experience for the family, let alone it happening in the middle of a pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to consider if this was your child, grandchild, nephew, niece, God forbid, you know, you'd absolutely want to move heaven and earth to get this child the help that she needs. There's a PayPal page, there's a Just Giving page. I ask you to give as generously as possible, but no donation is too small. If it's £1, thank you very much. If it's £10, £100, whatever it is that you can donate, we would muchly appreciate it. If you cannot donate, and I appreciate that times are tough for us all at the moment, the only thing I would ask you to do, please, would be to share this far and wide, this information, keep the momentum going to try and get this poor young girl the help that she needs and richly deserves. I thank you for your attention. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the end. So, Andy, thanks again for coming, mate.
No worries. Take care, lads.
Duke.
Hopefully a good result today.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, buddy.
Duke, thank you again for your assistance, my friend.
Mate, I just sit here and look ugly. It's all right. It's just, you know, I pipe up every now and again with a couple of, I do really well. I kind of drop in with a couple of dynamite points, and then I just sit back and let you crack on. You know, it is what it is. I might even let you do your own tier list later.
Oh, thanks. Horrible man. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you've got the comment section below. Tell us what you think on Andy's tier list, things you agree with, disagree with. Pick the bones out of it. There's plenty there to get your teeth into, as always. We ask you to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell icon and click all. And as and when Duke and I upload any new content, you will be the first to know about it. You can also find us at Twitter at Forged Talk, and you can find us at Facebook, Forged from Iron. I'm Gatesy, that's Duke, the one in the middle's Andy Miles. Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. On to Old Trafford now. 7:45 kickoff. 7:45? No, 7:15. 7:15 kickoff. I do apologise. Yeah, half the game's gone virtually. Anyway, back on the page.
A third.
3 points onto the Champions League. Fingers crossed. What do we say, guys? 4 words. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.
You Irons.